Hello there, everyone. Judge Andrew Napolitano here. Today is Monday, January 24. It's about 1:30 in the afternoon on the East Coast, and I'm here to discuss another pop-up with you, and this is the problems that the government has in its prosecution of the so-called plot to kidnap the governor of Michigan about 2.5 years ago. This is a plot that was concocted by the FBI, paid for by the FBI, organized and trained by the FBI. And then, of course, they pulled the trigger, so to speak. That is, they disappeared when it was time for the plot actually to be carried out. And they had another team of FBI agents show up and arrest all the defendants. So this is a classic case of entrapment. Entrapment occurs when the government plans the crime and plants the seed for the crime in the brain of the defendants. The FBI will say the defendants had a predilection to want to kidnap her because they were members of right-wing militias who hated her and hated her lockdown orders. Look, the lockdown orders were unconstitutional, but kidnapping the governor, of course, is a federal and a state crime. But the question is, what did the feds know and when did they know it? And how much of the idea for the crime did they plant in the heads of the defendants? There are 12 defendants in this case. There were 18 FBI agents or cooperating witnesses involved. So some FBI agents were undercover, full-time FBI agents pretending to be conspirators. Some of the conspirators were cooperating witnesses. The FBI had charged them with a crime. In order to get the FBI to tell federal prosecutors, don't prosecute them or prosecute them for a lower level crime, these people became cooperating witnesses working for the FBI. So you had 25 people there, more than half of whom were working for the government, trying to help the other half commit a crime so that they could all be prosecuted. This is a farce. And the government shouldn't be doing this. Was the governor of Michigan ever in danger? No. Was anybody in danger? No. Was anybody harmed? No. The definition of crime has the word harm in it. Who was harmed here? I'll tell you who was harmed. The taxpayers were harmed because you and I paid the salaries of the FBI agents and all the expenses of all these people as they were plotting to do something that they knew they were never going to happen, was never going to happen. This is an artificial plot concocted by the government, paid for by the government in an effort to arrest people. How does the government decide who to go after when it does this? It's a very good question, and I don't know that we'll ever get an answer to it. Making matters worse, the Sixth Amendment to the Constitution guarantees you the right to confront your accusers. It's known to lawyers and judges as the Confrontation Clause. The Confrontation Clause means if there's an accuser out there in this case, a person who gathered evidence and gave it to the government, or a person who's going to come in the courtroom and testify against you, you have a right to know who that is. Not by an assumed name, but by a real name. The defendants complained to the New York Times just this weekend that they can't get the real names of the FBI agents who are involved in these cases. Oh, they know one of them. I'm not going to tell you his name, but they know one of them because the FBI fired him because he was convicted of domestic violence. At the same time, he was trying to get these Michigan defendants to participate in violence. The wrong thing for the government to be doing. And the defense is basically, yeah, we did it, but we were trapped. We did it, but we didn't mean it. We did it, but the government shouldn't be charging us with this. It's a very difficult defense on which to prevail. It's basically jury nullification. I hope the jury does nullify this prosecution. It would be 12 American citizens saying to the government, this is a step too far. How about prosecuting real criminals rather than creating your own crimes? Judge Napolitano, Judging Freedom.